Oh, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our MLB On Deck segment for Tuesday, June 18th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our MLB, NBA, and NFL videos. And if you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel, and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing out there, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm good. I'm good.
Another day, ready to talk some more baseball, and I'm ready to go if you're about ready.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. Real quick, before we do jump in this video, if you guys don't mind, just take that quick second, click the like button down below. Helps me out, and I really appreciate that from you guys. Yeah, man, let's go. So, as always, this video is a little bit more of an overview, get you a general idea of where we're at earlier in the day. If you want a more in-depth analysis, please make sure check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Got about 5 or 6 other content pieces that come up every single day for MLB, have NHL as well. Plus, on the weekend, we have NASCAR, PGA, MMA, truly a one-stop shop for our DFS needs. So yeah, man, let's jump into it. I'm going to start with the bats, and then you can kind of roll us off with the pitchers. And if there's a couple of bats teams that you're liking, you can kind of throw those in as well. Big slate today. There's a lot of spots we can all obviously go to. Can't really touch every single one of them. That's more for the deep dive if you really do want a real deep, in-depth analysis. But we'll do our best to kind of get your day started right. So I'm going to start with Oakland. I'm going to go right back to the well. We called it yesterday. It was an iffy spot going against Cashner. And, ended up being a 2-3 Oakland won, low scoring game. I'm going to go right back to the well. They get a matchup today against Gabriel. Yona gives up a 35% hard contact rate, 182 to lefties, 237 ISO to righties. Oakland as a team has a 178 ISO. You can look at both sides of the plate. For me, I'm looking more at the righties. You're looking at Simeon, Chapman, Chris Davis is in play. I think those are the guys. Piscotty's having a pretty good season. Those are the guys that are really, really standing out to me. But I am liking some of these old Oakland bats. And another thing about it is we've been talking about it all year long. Baltimore's bullpen is just horrendous. They have a very bad bullpen. I think this is going to be a bullpen game for them. So I think Oakland is going to have a good chance to really get to that bullpen and put up a bunch more runs than they did yesterday. Next team I'm going to be looking at, I like the Yankees. They get a matchup today against it's going to be at first it's going to be an opener, and then they're going to have their long reliever come in. It's probably going to be Ryan Yarbrough. He gives up a 36% hard contact rate, 291 ISO to lefties, 144 ISO to righties. And the Yankees as a team, they have a 155 team ISO. Think about the Yankees, man. I mean, this lineup is freaking stacked, bro. You sent me the message the other day, like, they're getting Stanton back. They're about to get Judge back, and then they added in Edwin Encarnacion. Like, if they needed more home run guys in this lineup, like the lineup is just ridiculous. Didi just came back as well. I mean, you can legitimately look at basically everybody in this lineup. I mean, they have a lineup stacked full of all stars. I like the Yankees today at home. I think this is a really, really good spot for them. For me, I got to kind of wait and see who's in the lineup and kind of where they're at before I make my decision on what Yankees I'm really, really going to be looking at. But obviously, Stanton, Encarnacion, DJ's in play, Voit. We like these. We like both sides of the plate. And then Gregorius, he's a guy that definitely has some upside. Yankees, really, really good team to target today. Then I'm going to look at both sides of this game. I'll start with the Cleveland side first. They're in Texas. Texas, a really good hitters park. It's really starting to get hot there. Balls are going to be flying a little bit more as we start, getting more and more into the summer. Cleveland gets a matchup against Adrian Sampson, 46% hard contact rate, 175 ISO to lefties, 241 ISO to righties. Cleveland as a team has a 173 team ISO. Cleveland is one of those teams that we've been talking about that they've been underperforming a little bit to start the season. And it's obvious. Everybody knows that. Today's a good day for them. I think that they're going to have a good day. You're looking at the Lindors. Kipnis is starting to pick it up. Carlos Santana, Jose Ramirez. Those are probably the main four guys that I'll be looking at. And then you could throw in a couple of these other guys in the bottom of the order if you want to get contrarian. On the flip side of things, you get Texas versus Zach. Please, Zach, I definitely like the Cleveland side a little bit more, but you definitely could look at some of the Texas guys as well. Chu, the Shields, Andres, Mazzara. The one thing that you mentioned, and it is true, Texas with Gallo out this lineup, it is a little bit less dangerous lineup, but it's a really, really good hitting environment. So I definitely think that Texas still is in play. Then I'm going to move on. We're going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks at home. Arizona, another really good hitting ballpark. It's getting hot there. Wind's blowing out. But it's a dome, so it actually doesn't really matter if the wind's blowing out or whatnot. But Arizona gets a matchup against Antonio Cinzatella. 39% hard contact rate he gives up. 241 ISO to lefties, 152 ISO to righties. As a team, Arizona has a 191 team ISO. You're looking at the main guys is basically 1 through 6 is what gives you the upside. Dyson, Escobar, Peralta, Adam Jones, Marte, Christian Walker. The guys on the lower end, I'm not really too interested in. 1 through 6 for the Diamondbacks. I like that the different combination of stacks a lot right there. And they're probably going to go a little bit lower owned as well. And then looking at the Cubs also. I like the Cubs at home. The wind's blowing out to center field. It's going to start to get a little bit hotter there as well. The Cubs get a matchup against Ivan Nova. Gives up a 33% hard contact rate, 221 ISO to lefties, 177 ISO to righties. And the Cubs, man, the Cubs are swinging really good bats right now. They have a 202 team ISO as a team. I like them. I think they're in a good spot. Schwarber's just been absolutely murdering the ball. Chris Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, all those guys are definitely in play. You can pretty much look at all these Cubs that are going to be in the lineup today at home, and just a couple other teams I'll quickly throw in there. I like the Nat. We talked about the Nats yesterday against Jake Arrieta. That game got rained out. It's going to be Jake Arrieta again. If we talked about the spot yesterday, I quickly just want to touch on it again today. I mean, you can go right back to the well. It's a day difference, and I mean that's really all it is. St. Louis as well. They get a matchup against Jordan Yamamoto. I think St. Louis is in a really good spot to put up some runs. And then lastly, I mean, I like my Dodgers. Dodgers are just killing the ball, man. Every game they're putting up a bunch of runs, and they get a matchup today against Sean Anderson. So you can definitely look at the Dodgers as well. And it's hot. It's hot in LA. The Dodger Stadium is a hitter's park, but it's hot. Balls fly. We're going to continue to talk about that. So, I mean, that's really where I'm at. I mean, just to kind of sum it up, I like the A's, the Yankees. Cleveland's in a good spot. Arizona, the Cubs. Those are the top 5 teams that are really standing out. And then I like the Nats, Texas, St. Louis, and Dodgers as well. It's a big slate, so I kind of want to cover a little bit more than I usually do. And, yeah, man, that's really where I'm at. I mean, where are you at today so far?
I'm not going to say I'm quite where you're at. There's a lot of chalk that you just threw out there, in my opinion, that I think some of it needs to be cautioned. I tried to warn you about the Dodgers yesterday with Tyler Beede. He had over a 500 ISO against left-handed hitters, and that has decreased all the way down to under 300 or right at 300. Sean Anderson, another guy. They brought these 2 guys up. These are 2 rookies that they just threw in the rotation that probably weren't quite ready to pitch in the majors yet. Beede got broken in against Cincinnati at Cincinnati, and he gave up like 5 bombs in that game. I think 2 of them were to Dietrich. So, the left-handed ISO numbers for him were really inflated. They were kind of like reliever numbers. You know what I mean? Like when a reliever comes in the beginning of the year and he gets lit up, he only pitches an inning or 2 innings, so it takes a long time for his numbers to come back down. Beattie's a guy that has pitched really well for like 4 innings and then had the inability to kind of get through the 5th inning. And there was like 3 or 4 of those starts where he gave up 4 runs, but he had struck out like 5 guys. In one of those games, he struck out 6 consecutive hitters. So I was not really, 100% on the Dodgers yesterday. I also wasn't real big on the A's. I thought that Cashner was a guy that had thrown a ton of quality starts this year. Sampson tonight is a guy that we've picked on all year long. Cleveland is a team that, you look at their team hitting numbers, and it's just two guys that you really got to get through. I mean, Jose Ramirez is a guy that's had a couple of good games. We covered Jose Ramirez this year on the deep dive. He's kind of turning things around a little bit. He's probably due for a home run. But you get through Santana, you get through Francisco Lindor, and the rest of that lineup's not really very good. And Sampson has pitched decently recently. So I don't know if I'm big on Cleveland in this spot. I just, that's a lineup that doesn't have a ton of firepower. The St. Louis Cardinals, this is the second time they're going to face Jordan Yamamoto. This is a guy that has electric stuff. I believe he threw up 46 fantasy points against the Cardinals in his first career start. So, I'm not sure I'm real big on St. Louis again in this spot. I'm not sure I'm real big on the Dodgers. Sean Anderson's thrown up 3 straight quality starts, over 40 fantasy points in 2 of them. So, I don't know how big I am on some of these spots. It's a very large slate. I think the Angels are in a really good spot again against Marcus Stroman. And look, from a pitching standpoint, take your pick. I mean, there's a ton of options to look at today. I do like Julio Teheran as an under-the-radar play on a slate this big with some top pitching options like a Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw. Another guy that stands out a ton to me is Brandon Woodruff, a guy who's pitched really well this year. Only a 9.3 price tag. I think it's a really good play against San Diego. Gets a bump because of the size of the ballpark. Could not agree with you more about the Cubs. I just think the Cubs are in a great spot. Ivan Nova is not a good pitcher. He's just not. The Cubs starting to get hot. You talk about Kyle Schwarber, one of the hottest players in baseball over the last 2 weeks. I think, you load those lefties up. Wilson Contreras having an unbelievable season. So I 100% agree with you on the Cubs. And the Nationals, like you said, I agree with you on that. I think that this is a good spot for Corbin to rebound. But what I said about Corbin on that deep dive yesterday was it's not comfortable to look at Corbin and want to load Corbin up. It's not. It's not comfortable at all. The guy's been blown up in 3 of his last 4 starts. So it's not real comfortable to load him up either.
And also, too, another thing about that we've been talking about is Philadelphia, even though they're underperforming as a lineup, I mean, they're stacked.
They're stacked.
For sure.
I'm going to tell you that I have a feeling that I don't think we've seen anything so far that it's gone official. But the Yankees are supposed to activate Giancarlo Stanton today, and I believe they're going to also activate Aaron Judge. And I think this is going to be their full lineup today. I'm not sure this is the day.
Crazy, bro.
I'm not sure this is the day to load the Yankees up. Yarborough's pitched really, really good this year. I understand the high ISO that he's given up against, did you say left-handed bats?
For Yarbrough against the Yankees, yeah, left-handed 291 ISOs.
I mean, the left-handed bats in the Yankees lineup are not the scary ones, to be honest with you. It's the righties.
Right.
It's the righties. I mean,
I started talking about the lefties, and I was like, I got to bring up these righties.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, like their projected lineup is going to be like LeMahieu at third base leading off. You probably get Judge or Stanton.
Hicks or Gardner is going to be the odd man out.
It's going to be Gardner. Gardner. Hicks. Yeah, they just paid Hicks, right? Hicks is going to play center field for them.
So Gardner will be the utility guy that'll give everybody a day off every other day kind of thing.
And then they're going to have to make another decision on Clint Frazier, right? Is it going to be Clint Frazier, Gio Urshela, or you just paid LeMahieu. Urshela's a minor league guy. I got to believe that Clint Frazier's the guy that stays because LeMahieu's your utility infielder. But look, they're going to go LeMahieu, they're going to go Judge, they're going to go Sanchez, Stanton, Encarnacion, Hicks. I mean, who do you pitch to? If you're a pitcher, you've just got to grab your nuts and be like, I'm going to attack the strike zone. If you get me, you get me. But I've got to attack the zone. If you try to get cute and try to hit corners and you don't hit spots, this is a 3-run bomb after 3-run bomb lineup. If you try to get too careful with it, so I don't know if today's that day to do it. If they do activate both these guys, but look, this lineup's going to be nuts. There's
Yeah.
no way to pitch around it. It's not a big ballpark in Yankee Stadium. I mean, this is borderline unfair. They just stole Encarnacion. I
You know
know he
what
went.
this reminds me of? This reminds me of almost of when the Lakers tried to get Chris Paul that one year in
The
the
commissioner said, no, no, no.
yeah, because bro, I mean, how is that fair? Throwing Encarnacion, isn't he leading the American League in homers?
He is. I
Yeah,
remember when
and
I was a kid, I lived in Seattle, right? And Seattle made a trade for this guy Ken. They traded this guy Ken Phelps to the Yankees for this guy Steve Balboni, and everybody's like, "What?" Everybody says like Ken Phelps was their DH. He was like a serviceable baseball player. He was kind of like a poor man's Edgar Martinez before Edgar Martinez, and they got this dude Steve Balboni in return. Like he looked like the guy on the big league chew pack. It's exactly who he looked like, man. It's like Steve Balboni. That's who you guys got. And this feels like the upper class version of that trade. Like you just sent some dude to the Mariners for one player. And they just signed him. Like Encarnacion just went there. He's leading the American League in home runs, and you gotta put him in the middle of this freaking lineup. Who's gonna beat them?
I get you. They're gonna out hit everybody.
They're gonna out hit everybody. If there's a guy that I think that you could load up today, I would go get some Ryan Yarbrough in tournaments, man. I think it'll be very contrarian. If they do activate both these guys today, the Yankees are going to be very, very popular. People are not going to give two squirts about who the pitcher is. They're just going to want the exposure to the Yankees. The Yankees could very well go off, but in tournaments, Ryan Yarbrough is a guy who's pitched well. Tampa Bay is a team that started this opener situation. They've got guys that, Yarbrough is one of them that Yanni Chirinos was another guy. Chirinos didn't work out too well for Chirinos yesterday. He did give up the 3 earned runs. Tanaka pitched lights out, but I mean, Chirinos only gave up 3 earned runs, and this is a borderline the same lineup. You know what I mean? You're missing two of the big studs in there, obviously with Stanton and Judge not in there. But I mean, if they activate these two guys, I don't know how you don't get exposure to the Yankees.
No, for sure. So, hey, man, that's kind of where we're at. If you guys want a more in-depth analysis on today's slate, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Thanks very much for helping me with this video, Jeremy. And, hey, we'll be back with our core plays later with our deep dive segment. So make sure to tune in. Check out the site. Get yourself a free 2-week trial. Make sure our site's right for you. And, hey, man, outside of that, good luck on your guys' contest tonight, and peace out.